Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining today's live webinar. I hope you are all well. My name is Riley and I assist in coordinating our various free webinars that we hold every month at EIT. If you would like to, you can find all of our upcoming and past webinars on the events page on our website. Before we get started today, I'll just run over just disabling the notifications and sounds in the Blackboard session. So what you can do is just go to your settings. It should be in the bottom right hand corner of your screen if you're on a laptop or desktop. But otherwise, if you're on mobile, just you should go to the session menu, and once you find the notification settings, just make sure all the boxes are unticked, and that will prevent any pop-ups or sounds during this webinar. So today's topic is about starting your studies online and then continuing on campus in Australia in the future. So basically our presenters for today are Jason Gabriel, who is our Higher Education Manager and Learning Support, Caroline Patterson, who is our Accreditation and Compliance Manager, Seemab Fayyaz, who is a current EIT Master of Engineering student studying online, and Adriana Santana Conceicao, who is also a Master of Engineering student studying online with us. So the purpose of this webinar today will be about presenting our course offerings and discussing why it would be beneficial to start your studies online and not delaying your studies because of the travel restrictions currently in place. And basically, everyone that's registered for this webinar, including those who are in the session, you will receive a copy of the PDF slides and a link to the video recording in the next 2 business days via email. Now, I'll just run over the agenda today. So basically, I'll be introducing our main presenters. We will be introducing our student presenters later in the session. I'll give a brief overview of EIT, and then we'll give you an overview of our courses and campus locations. And then we'll be running over why you should start your studies online, and then we'll hear from our 2 online students that are currently in the session with us today, and are currently waiting to transition to on-campus study. And finally, how to apply and how to contact one of our course advisors. And then we'll also run a live Q&A session at the end to finish off. So our 2 presenters for today, Jason Gabriel, as I mentioned, he's our Higher Education Manager and Learning Support. He's got an immense amount of experience, has a 10-year career in coaching and learning development, and he currently oversees the EIT learning support officers who ensure that our higher education programs are run effortlessly each semester, and that our students receive the best support possible during their studies. And Caroline Patterson is our Accreditation and Compliance Manager. And her career has spanned over 20 years in education and training, and has been involved in the vet and higher education sectors in policy development and ensuring compliance across all policies and processes across the company. And as mentioned, we will formally introduce our students who are currently in this webinar later in the session. So to give you a little brief overview of EIT itself, so we are an engineering specific education provider. So we have a range of courses, starting with short courses. We have diplomas and advanced diplomas, in the vet sector, and we also have a range of qualifications in the higher education space, such as graduate certificates, bachelor's and master's degrees, and recently a Doctor of Engineering. Our programs are regularly updated to stay relevant with the industry and ensure that the program content remains current with the trends and industry developments. Our courses, such as our vocational programs and higher education degrees, are accredited by the Australian government. However, we do have a few programs that are recognised under the 3 international engineering accords, such as the Sydney, Dublin and Washington Accords. You can look at more information about our accreditation on our website. And we do have industry experienced lecturers, so we don't just employ lecturers that are only involved in academia, but they also have industry experience where they can connect the theory to relevant real-world scenarios and connect it with their professional working life. We also have a unique delivery model. So that includes the use of live and interactive webinars. We have expert lecturers, as I mentioned. We have dedicated learning support for our students and state-of-the-art technologies, such as our workshops, remote labs, and simulation software that we'll touch on later in this webinar. I will now hand over to Caroline Patterson, who will now take you over our on-campus programs. Thank you.
Thanks, Riley, and hi, everybody. I can see a few of you putting your hands up. We're not ignoring you. We do have a Q&A session at the end, and if you want to type any of your questions into the chat box, we have a couple of our staff ready to answer your questions, so feel free to type there. So yeah, these are the courses we offer on campus. So we offer 4 bachelor degrees on our Perth campus. We also offer 4 master's degrees and a doctorate of engineering in Perth. And then in Melbourne, we also offer the 4 master degrees. And these are some photos of our campuses. So this is on our Perth campus here in Bentley. So you can see this top left is our Student Services Office and some photos of the labs that our students get involved with and some of the nice outdoor photos and areas that you can use while you're on campus. And then this is some pictures of our Melbourne campus and our staff on the right-hand side there, our lovely team over in Melbourne that will look after you. And so our next online intakes for our courses are coming up at the start of 2022. So our bachelor degrees start in February and our master's and doctorate start online in January. And then our on-campus intakes start in February and August. And you'll have the option, if you do apply for on-campus studies and you're unable to come onshore and you don't want to commence your studies online, you can always defer your on-campus studies for up to 1 year. So don't be afraid to apply, and then hopefully our borders will open fairly soon. Just depends on what the Australian government says. But yeah, we're taking applications for both semesters and both online and on campus. All right, so why should you start your studies online at EIT? So for offshore students, so if you want to start studying in your home country while you're waiting to come to Australia, as an online student, you're going to benefit from all of EIT's delivery methods. And so we've been delivering online education for over 15 years. So we know how to do it, and we know the best ways to engage our students and make sure that you get the most out of your studies. You'll be studying the same Australian accredited program that you would be studying on campus. So you won't be missing out. You won't have to spend more time once you come on campus. You'll be studying exactly the same course. And our tutorials are live and interactive. So you're not just listening to recordings. You will have the opportunity to join live and interactive webinars just like this one and speak to students and your lecturers and ask questions, and we encourage that. And you'll also have a dedicated learning support officer for each unit that you study, as well as our student services and the support of your lecturers. And because of the interactivity, you'll be able to create your global networks with your students from around the world, as well as with lecturers, and well as with our EIT staff. And we have students from over 140 countries. So you'll be interacting with lots of different students from different backgrounds. Okay, so you also receive an overall cost saving if you study online. Our online fees are slightly less than our on-campus fees. And for any study that you do while you're online, you'll also receive credit for that once you come on campus. As I said before, you'll be studying exactly the same course, so you won't have to spend any more time studying. You'll just transition your mode from online to on-campus. To start online, there's no genuine temporary entrant assessment or GTE. As we would for on campus. You will have to satisfy that to come on campus, but if you want to start online first, you don't have to satisfy GTE to start your online. You just have to satisfy the course academic entry requirements. And any study that's done offshore whilst you're holding a student visa will be counted towards your post-study work rights. So don't be concerned that you have to spend 2 years on campus if you do have a student visa. Anytime that you study whilst holding that student visa, even if it's online, it will count towards those 2 years that you need to apply for post-study work rights. Okay, Jason, I'll hand over to you.
Thanks, Caroline. Hi, everyone, and welcome. So what I'm going to go through in my slides as the higher education manager, and we'll go through different things that you'll get to see throughout your course. So, firstly, the delivery. So we have lecturers based all around the world that deliver our courses, whether they be bachelor or the master courses. So they also work in the industry and have up-to-date experience on what's happening in engineering at the moment. So when you do join your course and you start to get enrolled into your units, you'll be have delivery online. So the platform is Blackboard, the one that we're in at the moment, and you'll be able to sit like you are now and have the lecturer deliver your live tutorial exactly how we're doing it today, and then you'll be able to learn, and they'll be able to utilize different tools to help along the way. So it might be might be that they ask you to write on the screen or something like that. So the live tutorials are meant to be interactive, where you can also, like you are now, chatting in the chat box. You also have the learning support officers, which which I'll touch on shortly, and then obviously we have our state-of-the-art hands-on workshop at remote and virtual laboratories as well, which I'll also touch on shortly. So delivery is exactly like we're doing it today. So if you feel comfortable in what is in this presentation, then you're going to feel comfortable in a learning environment where the lecturer is delivering online for you. So our remote and virtual labs, these are attached and created by our IT team here. So they include physical equipment, which include and sensors, which are equivalent to things you might come across in the industry, as well as software. So, for example, AutoCAD is and SolidWorks are two examples of software that are in our remote labs, which students can join from their wherever they are. So you might be sitting at home to join the remote labs. And you'll be able to connect through the remote labs to utilize this software. More often than not, it's for one of your assessments. So the plan is, or the reason why we have this is so that when you could successfully pass your units and then eventually pass your course, you're actually ready for software and different types of equipment that you're going to come across in the real world. So once you do secure a job in the industry, a lot of this stuff, a lot of this equipment and software are things that you'll have to use throughout your time as an engineer. And as that progresses, then obviously your knowledge of those will have to progress as well. So you can access these remote labs once you're an enrolled student to practice at any time, but there is a practical assessment within most of our units that assesses you on your ability to use the software. So student support. So this is our unique approach to supporting you as a student through your course. So what you'll have when you enroll in the course is you'll have your lecturer, obviously, who's going to teach you all the important technical things, but you also have a learning support officer. So you might have one, you might have two, you may actually have a few learning support officers, but they will only be working with you for one specific unit. So if you're studying 2 units at a time and you have 2 different learning support officers, then they will help you with that specific unit that you're enrolled in. So they can help you with a number of different things with examples of our system. So maybe our learning system or our student management system, where you're going to have to access that through your computer. Maybe even our remote lab system if you're having a bit of trouble with that. So they'll help you with our systems. They'll help you with our processes as well. So if there's something that you're uncertain of on, let's say, an assessment and when it's due or how to submit it, they'll give you a really easy idea. They may even provide you with videos as well to help you and guide you to be able to successfully submit your assessment, for example. They can also give you information on your course progression. So if you need to know what units you may go into a future semester, or maybe how long it might take you based on the amount of units you're doing to complete your course, they can give you a very rough guide on this information. So course progression is certainly it's just a guide because it is very dependent on how you are going through your current units. So unfortunately, if you're unsuccessful in passing units, it will slow your progression just a little bit. But you can certainly utilize the LSOs to help where needed for those types of things. And then general administration. So, if you need like a transcript or a progress report, something that shows, how you're going within your course, or, a certificate of enrollment, maybe something that says that you are an enrolled student at EIT. They can certainly help you with anything. Think of it this way: is your lecturer will teach you everything that's technical for the unit, so everything that's helping you learn for your unit. Your learning support officer will help you that's everything that's not technical or not regarding your learning of the material. So they try to support you in ways of reminders for assessments and when they're due. Like I mentioned, the submission requirements, and you'll get lots of important updates about other things that might be popping up that you need to be aware of. So as you can see there, this is Emily, one of our learning support officers based in our Perth office. You also have academic support. So not only will your lecturer for your unit be able to help you, but on our campus in Perth and Melbourne, we have our full-time academic staff who are based on each campus, and they are available for meetings to help with anything you might have academically. So, anything to do with your learning experiences, maybe things that you're struggling with a little bit, or need a little bit further help with, they can help you with that. If for the practical hands-on workshops and advising how to go about those, as well as work integrated learning, they can certainly help with both of those options. So They are available by appointment. So if you do want to meet with one of the academics, we strongly suggest that you organise a meeting with them. But they're very happy to help you with anything that you might need to progress in your course or your unit. In saying that, your unit lecturer, so the person who is teaching your unit, is also available. So you are very welcome to email them questions. They will have an email address on our learning page where you can email them for different kinds of support and things that you might not understand. So, and if worst case scenario, they might organize a meeting with you, for example, over Skype. So that you can talk with them over the in more of a phone call situation. They're very happy to do that, and they obviously can't give you the answers for everything, but they can certainly guide you in a way to find or progress towards the correct answer. So we do have smaller class sizes than your typical university. So this helps you to communicate better with your lecturer, and they'll know you by name. So they will know every single student in their class, and they'll know how you're progressing and be able to support you along the way. Student services. This is another very important part of being a part of our campus here in Perth and in Melbourne. We have Richard. Richard is our new student services officer, and he's involved in providing welcoming packs when you accept your offer to come study with EIT. If you're able to obviously get here and board a plane and obviously land in Perth or Melbourne, we can organise some airport pickup for you to take you to your place of that you're going to be living. What we'll also do is organise you a student card so that you can get student discounts on buses and trains and potential purchases. We'll certainly be providing you with a full orientation, giving you information on the laws in Australia, some regulations, health-related help if you ever need it, banking and other little recreational options that might come up. If need be, we can, before you get to Australia, help you with some accommodation. So that might be finding somewhere where you may be able to potentially live with one of our current students if they have any space, for example. So they certainly can help you with anything like that. One of the biggest ones that they get involved in is, or help our students with, is pastoral care. So if you have, for example, some pre-exam or pre-assessment nervousness, homesickness, which is obviously going to be a big one for students coming to another country, a bit of safety, health and well-being, helping with your attendance to classes, and then generally supporting with some study planning and time management planning. This is a really, really big one for our student services officer, and the one that Richard focuses on the most, purely because we certainly care about how you're going outside of your studies. We understand that studying in a new country and in a new environment is a little bit difficult, but we want to make sure that outside of that, everything is going okay as well, and you are keeping as healthy and as safe as possible. They can also help you with some resume prep and some interview skills to help with potentially some internships or any other job-related tasks or skills that you might need. And lastly, for those that are in the Perth campus, they'll provide you with they can provide you with a parking permit to access the free parking at the Perth campus. So what I'm going to do next is chat with our current Master of Engineering student, Adriana. So Adriana is actually based, currently in Sydney, and she's unfortunately been caught in the lockdowns in Sydney and has been unable to come over to Perth to join us at the Perth campus. So she has been currently studying online from Sydney and attending all her classes, obviously via the comfort of her study room. She's currently studying an electrical systems Master of Engineering, and hopefully, from some news that I might have read today, she will be able to join us in the Perth at the Perth campus for next semester. So welcome, welcome, Adriana.
Hi, thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this webinar. It's a pleasure for me to talk to everyone about my experience.
Thank you for joining us. So I'll obviously start first question. So what made you choose EIT?
My agent education STB talked me about the EIT, and then after reading the website, I realized that this institute, is one of the only one specialized in engineering, which is very important for me. So besides that, the courses are accredited by the Australian government, which is really important to me too. The professors are highly specialized. The IT has a diverse environment with more than, I think, students for more than 140 countries, I think, something like that,
correct.
which is very important for me because it makes me feel comfortable because the team is prepared to deal with international students.
Fantastic, thank you. And so why specifically the Electrical Systems Master of Engineering course?
I'm an electrical engineer, so I was trying to find a course in my field, but here in Sydney, it was a little bit tricky because I wasn't to find something that suits me. So electrical engineer in this institute, I actually I took a look in the curriculum of the course, and I've seen lots of topics about renewable energy. It's very it's amazing because it's my favorite topic in the electrical field. So I've found a master to develop this specific and current learning.
Fantastic. And how have you the lecturers and the learning support officers been whilst you've been studying online?
They are helping me 100%. They have been very supportive, especially when it comes to international student struggles. I think you know what I mean, because there are lots of struggles. For example, there are difference in time zone. The course is enough for a language. There are some differences in the system of the learning if compared to my country, for example. And the support of the lectures and the learning support offers has been crucial.
Fantastic. I'm very happy to hear that. Very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. How have you found assessments?
Um, the first assessment is a quiz.
Correct.
For
Yep.
me, it was the most challenging because it was the first one. I was get accustomed with the environment, and I was trying to remember some knowledge from my bachelor. So I had to study more than I was expecting because some learns I admit that I've forgotten. Um, yeah, but which is normal. So, but from the second assessment, in the total there are four assessments. From the second one, um, it it was becoming better and better and better. Especially because it involves a lot of researches. So the more you research, the more you learn. So I developed some designs that I thought that I wasn't able to do, but at the end I did. And then, of course, with the lectures help and then orientations as well, I could do a good job.
No, that's fantastic, and I'm really happy to see here that that you increased your knowledge, and that I'm glad to hear that you're very happy with how far you've come. So that's really, really good to hear. Have you accessed the remote labs, and how did you find that experience?
Uh, the remote labs, I have, yes, I have, but not that much, though. I'm sure that I will use it more from now on. It's an opportunity to put in practice the knowledge that I've learned during the tutorials. It's very, very, very important. The softwares are broadly used in the industry. I've seen most of them when I try to find some job opportunities. I take a look in the positions, and I've seen the softwares that the requirements of the softwares, and most of them I already saw that is in the remote lab. It's an excellent opportunity to uh, use the lab not only to do projects from the EIT, but also if you would like to find a specific position, you can go through it, and you just need to book a time on the remote lab, and that's it. It's very easy to book. Um, yes.
No, perfect, perfect. That's good to hear. Very good to hear. What are the main benefits of starting online and then potentially continuing on campus when you can get here?
For me, it is an excellent chance to start my course immediately. So I didn't had to wait till the borders open. So if I had to wait, now you can see the Western Australia borders is still closed. So for me, it's a huge benefit. So besides that, the quality of the content, it's very good, even online. So I thought that could be a little bit different or a little bit less, but no, definitely not. The quality is very high, and I'm really grateful for the institute to allow me to do this and then adapt a lot of situations because of me.
No, fantastic. I'm glad you're enjoying the online part so far, and hopefully the WA borders open and we can have you on campus shortly. Okay. So what are you looking forward to doing after you complete your degree?
Um, I do like to work my field, especially in with renewable energy. My main goal is make a change in the world by using my knowledge, maybe something like reducing harmful gases in the atmosphere or something like that. I do like to do something great, with my knowledge. And if I have some colleagues to join me in this idea, I think we can do a good job.
That's really good to hear. That's fantastic, fantastic plan, fantastic plan. And did you have any advice for the students or potential students in the room with us today?
Yes. My advice for students who intend to start online course is go ahead. It can be a challenge, it can be difficult sometimes because everybody knows that engineering it's a tough course. It's no news. But with the support of your classmates, with the lecturers, with the learning support officers, student services, and so on, you will achieve your goal. If the students have any question after this webinar and would like to get in contact with me, feel free. I can share my Instagram on the chat, especially students of electrical field. I can share some more about my experience. So feel free. That's it. Go ahead. Don't think twice.
Fantastic, Adriana. Thank you very much for joining us today and providing us your insights into how your course has gone so far.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our second student. Seemab is currently based in Pakistan. She is studying a Master of Engineering in Industrial Automation online with us. She, unlike Adriana, is joining our online students. So Adriana has been joining our on-campus students. Who are obviously on our campuses in Perth and Melbourne, whereas Seemab has been joining our online students who are based all around the world, and she's also waiting to come to the Perth campus to continue her study on campus. So, Seemab, are you there, and can you hear me? Fantastic. Did you want to try your microphone?
Hello, everyone. Can
Perfect.
you hear me?
Yes, we
Okay.
can. Thank you. Thank you for joining us,
Okay.
Seemab. I'll go through.
My pleasure.
No, that's okay. I'll go through some questions. So, very similar to Adriana, what made you choose EIT?
Actually, after my bachelor's degree, I was looking for a different, I was confused whether to start an MS degree or just a diploma. So I was searching online for different options in different countries, and I came across 2-3 institutes, and I find EIT really interesting because their range of courses were very diverse. They are offering diploma certificates and master's degrees and even PhDs. So I got interested in it, and so I just searched it online, and then I contacted the EIT support team, and they were really helpful in providing me the related information to the admission process and the degrees they are being offered there. So I was so I just joined that team.
No, fantastic. Glad it's great to hear that you did a bit of research and that you selected us. So thank you.
Yeah.
So how are you finding your also how are you finding your industrial automation course, and why did you choose the Master of Engineering Industrial Automation degree?
Yeah, I don't know which question to answer first. It's really difficult. Okay. It's been my interest since I was doing my bachelor's degree. I was a part of the project at my university. For a professor, we designed a greenhouse automation. Automated greenhouse. She has done PhD in Australia, and she was she wanted to have the same kind of setup in Pakistan, and she just described each and everything. And we being the bachelor students, we just designed that particular automation system for her, a professor. So that was my first introduction with this particular field in the electrical engineering, that is automation and controls. And afterward, I did some internships and some projects with my professors, and that just increased my interest. And I wanted to explore it more. And so I just looked forward into the different courses offered in the different universities, even in the abroad. So here then I came across in the EIT, and I started it over there. So it's basically my interest. Secondly, each and everything is being automated these days, and it has a really high scope in developing countries like here in Pakistan.
Now that's very cool. And your project at for your bachelor sounds very cool as well. So no, that's
Yeah.
that's a really great answer. Okay, so
Yeah.
how have you found studying online so far?
Um, First, when I needed to start it, I was just, a bit, I had some doubts, how would I be able to, study online an engineering degree where you need hands-on experience. I was really confused, and I talked to the, support team and the deputy dean, her name is Miss Indumati. Yeah. And
Correct.
she just assured us, she assured us that don't worry, we are engineers as well, and we know that the requirements, and there is a support for each and everything you need. And so because of the system, it's been helpful. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied.
Brilliant. That's really good to hear. And you obviously touched on
Yeah.
the support. So how have you been supported whilst you've been studying online?
Yeah, of course. It's part of a regular, in the on-campus classes, you are supported by, a management and your lecturer. In the same way, it's online, studying online is a bit different. And, in the recent times, because of pandemic, everyone has gone online. But before that, we couldn't imagine, studying online, especially in engineering degree. So support is very immense. Yeah, I've got it, especially during my, in my last subject, I was studying industrial PLC, and there was a software that was not working, and my assessment was due, and thanks to my learning support officer, Miss Ginny Howard, and she was really helpful. She supported me, and she managed to make and extend the date for me, and managed to um, provide me support with the software, so I could deal with the my assessment and everything. So it's really helpful. They do support you. It's real.
No, perfect. Thank you. It's glad to hear the learning support team have supported you so far through your studies. So
Yeah.
you obviously have accessed the online labs. How did you go
Yeah.
once you were able to access them?
We go through the Moodle page, and there is a link, and then just first of all, we have to schedule. We have to book a time slot for us to work in the remote labs. That is really cool. We don't have to wait for too many. For wait for our time. We would other students would free the lab, and then we would enter. Just you have to you just book your time, and in your according to your own schedule, you can just work on the remote labs. And each and every software you need in your course is over there. You don't have to buy the course softwares, or you just don't have to worry the crashes of the software. Each and everything is taken care by the support team. It's up to them. You just don't have to worry about it. You just go in into the lab, online lab, remote labs, and you just work over there, and you are just done.
Fantastic. I'm glad you found it easy to access the remote labs.
Yeah, of course.
So what do you think have been the main benefits of studying online?
Um, as Adriana said, the main benefit for me is that I just started immediately. I just didn't have to wait for the borders opening. I just started when I got the my confirmation of admission, and just started it online. And now I am waiting that when I get the chance, I would resume it on campus.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are looking forward to having you here. So what are you
Okay.
looking forward to doing after you complete your degree?
There are many things. I just plan to work in the related field to get some experience, more experience after doing my degree. And my basic goal is to implement this knowledge to the field of agriculture, because my country is its basic economy is agriculture, but here apparently there is no automation in this field as compared to the West. So I want to implement it in small industries here in Pakistan, and I just want to start some venture like with a like-minded person here in Pakistan to help and to train people and bring automation to the industry to be more productive and to make it more feasible for them.
That's a really good plan, and I hope once you finish, you're able to go forward with that. So thank you very much
Yeah.
for speaking with us. I think myself
Okay.
and the other students in the room have very much appreciated yours and Adriana's experiences. So thank you very much, Seemab.
Okay. You're welcome. Pleasure.
Riley, I'll pass back to you.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, thanks again to Caroline and Jason for that presentation. And yeah, to our two students, Adriana and Seemab, for those discussions. That was fantastic. So basically, if you have already applied to study with us, please contact your education agent that you applied with, or you can contact our admissions team, which should already have their email address, but it is on the screen there as well. However, if you are wanting to start an application to study online with us, as you can see, our course advisor Carmelo has been in the session, and Carmelo, maybe if you could kindly provide your email address to everyone in the chat box, and if anyone does want to send you an email, they can do that, and Carmelo will be able to assist you with any questions that you may have, or he'll forward your question on to the relevant course advisor, as we have course advisors all around the world handling inquiries from different regions. Now that basically wraps up our webinar for today. However, as discussed, we will be running a short Q&A session. So if anyone does have any further questions, please put them in the chat box, and one of us will try and answer them for you while we're live. I will just go to the final slide now, just so that our contact details are on the screen there. If you need to go, thank you very much for attending today. But otherwise, as I said, if anyone has any further questions, please put them in the chat box. Thank you.
Riley, Audrey asked quite a number of questions, which I like to address now.
Sure.
So Audrey, how the time zones are arranged for online courses. Jason, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, certainly. So with the scheduling of classes. If you're joining our online students, then what we do is have an availability of maybe 2 or 3 classes per week. So there's 12 topics within one study period where you'll learn everything for your unit, and then each topic may have 2 or 3 sessions or live tutorial sessions in the week, all at different times, so that students can attend at a time that's convenient for them. This also is dependent on the lecturer that is teaching, because we obviously want them to be available as well. So we try to at least have 2 sessions if there's plenty of students in the class, so that students can attend at a time that that might be convenient for them. So we can what you can do if you're studying online, though, is if you can't attend the session, maybe because you have work or something like that, or something comes up, you can watch the recording later on. If you're going to join our on-campus students, there will only be one session per week. So those students will obviously come to the campus, and then be able to join at the time that it's set for the campus, because we can only open the campus between certain times, obviously for security reasons. So we will have one session per week for the on-campus students.
Great, thanks, Jace. There was also a question from you, Audrey, about if borders take more time to open and, for example, 1 year has passed, how can students get practical study? So we have remote laboratories and simulation software that we use for our online tutorials and for online learning. So you'd have access to those. And then once you do come on campus, you'd be able to do your practical workshops. So yeah, that would be the plan for your your transition to on-campus study. And if students aren't comfortable with online, if the borders are still closed, can you postpone? Yes, you can. You can defer for up to 1 year, and then you can come on campus hopefully when the borders open. And if you have experience in both mechanical and industrial automation, can you do both? You would need to decide which one you want to apply for. We don't have courses that cover both, but yeah, you could decide whether you want to do mechanical or industrial automation. We have both of those courses available on campus. And our support for foreign students in terms of cultural integration and so on, yeah, we have an active student services officer who can help you settle into Australia, and we organise lots of activities as well for our students. We've just had a soccer game that we organised for our students, and we have lots of little things that we do outside of study to help you adjust to life in Australia. And then also we have an orientation week that we provide to students when they come on campus to help you settle in, and we can provide any support that you need. And scholarships, yes, we do offer scholarships to foreign students. All our scholarships that are available on our website. We've provided that link in the chat. Okay.
I think Justine has her hand up. Justine, did you want to go ahead? Did you have a question, Justine? You can type it or you can use your microphone. It's up to you.
Unfortunately, the microphones are disabled in the session, but
okay.
Yeah, please put it in the chat box if you have any questions. Bruno has asked, have any of the current students here today been honoured with scholarships? If so, could they talk a little bit about their experience with it? I'm not sure. Jason, do you?
Yeah, unfortunately, Bruno, we can't give that information out just because of that's private, obviously, towards the student. But the experience would be that you would apply. You would apply for the scholarship, and we have a scholarships team that that review, obviously, your application, and then obviously provide you with a result. So depending on what the scholarship is and what the requirements are for you to keep that scholarship, they keep in touch with you, obviously through towards the end of your semester. Let's say, for example, you have a scholarship that requires you not to fail any units. So they review obviously the requirements that for you to keep your scholarship at the end of your study period, so that you can obviously continue to keep that. Or unfortunately, if you don't meet some of the requirements, then they may have to revoke that scholarship. But other than that, there's no other requirements for someone with a scholarship to do anything, I suppose. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Thanks, Jason. Caroline, could you just briefly touch on the visa process?
Sure. So processing times once the visa is with Department of Home Affairs can vary. Usually it's within a couple of months. I will provide a link in the chat box. You can actually go onto the Department of Home. Oh, Tegan's just posted that. Great. You can view the current processing times there. But in terms of the application process with us, it just depends on what information you provide us up front and whether we need any further information from you. We aim to turn applications around within 2 days, but again, it depends on how quickly you can get information to us and the completeness of that information. So as soon as we've got your application, we will be in contact very shortly. But in terms of the processing of the visa, once it's with Department of Home Affairs, we don't have any influence over that.
Thanks, Caroline.
Christopher, do you want to just type your question in? Unfortunately, the microphones aren't working, so we won't be able to use that. So if you wanted to type your question, we'll be able to answer that for you.
Chucks has asked for students with visas due to resume on campus in February 2022. What are they expected to put into consideration?
Chucks, I'm not sure I understand your question. If a student has a visa and they're due to be on campus in February, they would need to wait for the borders to reopen to international students. Once we know what's happening with the borders, we will contact any students that are waiting to come on campus and organise anything that we need to for them to be able to come to Australia. So yeah, please be assured we will contact those students as soon as we get some assurances from the Australian government about what's happening with borders for international students.
Great. We will stay on for a couple more minutes for any further questions. And our contact details are on the screen as well, if anyone would like to know. Thanks, Justine. Thanks for coming to the webinar today. We really appreciate it. Promods, we don't have that information available at the moment, but I would suggest for you to look at some job search sites and look at current trends at the moment. But there is a lot of information available on Western Australian websites that contain employment opportunities and job information. Mariam, we do offer a range of partial scholarships. We have provided the link in the chat box. I'll just put it in the chat box again. Thanks to everyone for the kind comments. Thanks for coming today. It doesn't look like there's any more questions coming through the chat box for now. I think that concludes the webinar for today. So thank you very much for attending again, and thank you to all our presenters, Caroline and Jason, and our students, Adriana and Seemab again. Thanks for the great session, and have a good rest of your day wherever you are. Thank you.